Hello everyone, I'm Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, UK marine scientists recommend Dominica place fishing in the forefront as one of the country's resilient livelihoods. Dominica's CBI program crowned the best in the world the second year running. And the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture to collaborate with Dominica to establish a resilience center. We'll have details of the news.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
First up in the news, UK-based marine scientists are advising Dominica to put fishing on the front burner as one of the resilient livelihoods in the country. Andrea Louis reports.
The scientists wrapped up a 2-week visit to Dominica to study the marine life and the trends following Hurricane Maria. One of the researchers pointed out that fishing is one of the industries which can help the country's food security.
I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, you can see the damage to the fishing ports, particularly at places like Scott's Head and Saint-Saviour. And so obviously that affects the ability to go fishing, but equally it is one of the first industries where people can get back out there operating again straight after a hurricane. And it looks like the fisheries like dolphin fish and jacks and tuna bounce back fairly quickly. And so they're one of the ways that can help the country recover quickly when other sources of employment, livelihoods and food are not yet available.
Another of the scientists noted that some of the fish in Dominica's waters can withstand the effects of climate change, and this augurs well for the country.
Some of the fish species are more sensitive to climate change and hurricanes than others, but in particular the pelagic species seem to be more robust to climate change, and fortunately for Dominica, pelagic species are very important, so that's kind of a good part of the story.
Species like dolphin fish and tuna in particular.
Yeah.
Penniger pointed out that there has been a change in the composition of fish being captured in fish pots.
It's an unusual year. There's a lot of dolphin fish around now in August, when in other years we wouldn't have expected that so much. Some of the fishing ports we're not seeing tuna yet, when we would have expected them by now. And this could be to do with the effects of the hurricane, or it could be to do with the sargassum that's showing up particularly on the east coast. But these are the sorts of things that by collecting data all around the island, we're hoping to understand better. So also we've been measuring particularly the length of dolphin fish. The lengths of dolphin fish all around the island are pretty similar. And the good news is that most of those that we saw are fully mature individuals and pretty plentiful at the moment.
The researchers were here under the Commonwealth Marine Economies Programme funded by the British Office to help 16 small island developing states around the world.
In more news now, Dominica's CBI program has been crowned the best in the world for the second year running in the latest special report by Financial Times publication, Professional Wealth Management PWM. The 2018 CBI Index, which ranks the world's active citizenship by investment programs, notes that of the 13 CBI jurisdictions worldwide, Dominica spearheads the industry. Dominica is reportedly scoring perfect marks in 5 of the 7 pillars against which each program is evaluated. The special report notes that Caribbean nations are leading today's growing citizenship by investment industry. The expanding industry attracts more investors seeking greater mobility and business opportunities. They are often prompted by shifting global economic and political tensions. 4 fellow Caribbean nations follow Dominica, with CBI pioneer St. Kitts and Nevis as a strong contender. The programs assessed in this year's CBI Index include those offered by Antigua and Barbuda, Austria, Bulgaria, Cambodia, Cyprus, Dominica, Grenada, Jordan, Malta, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Turkey, and Vanuatu. PWM notes that more investors worldwide, especially from China, Russia, and increasingly the Middle East and Africa, are attracted to the notion of obtaining dual nationality. This trend is predicted to grow among global families affected by socio-political instability in their home countries or international business persons seeking expanded visa-free travel and business opportunities. The CBI Index measures 7 areas or pillars: due diligence, freedom of movement, standard of living, minimum investment outlay, ease of processing, citizenship timeline, and mandatory travel or residence. Dominica remains the world's best economic citizenship jurisdiction due to maintained high levels of timeliness and simplicity in process, an affordable investment threshold, and a robust due diligence framework. The Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, ICCA, is considering helping Dominica establish a resilience center here. ICCA's Director General Manuel Otero made the announcement as he addressed the media on Wednesday, wrapping up his visit to Dominica. Otero says ICCA is interested in collaborating with the authorities to begin taking steps towards the creation of a resilience center. Otero believes a resilience center would help Dominica become an example for others in the region and possibly the world.
This is a way of thinking with the long-term perspectives, and ICCA is going to be fully committed to transform this idea in reality. What I would like to say is that in a few weeks probably we're going to discuss a concept paper. This paper is going to be shared with other international organizations, probably in the context of a Caribbean Week of Agriculture that is going to be held in Barbados. And then we work even harder in order to transform into reality the possibility of our resilience center.
Otero says he's impressed with discussions he had with the Ministers for Agriculture and Foreign Affairs regarding Dominica's bid to become more climate resilient. He believes with offices in all member countries in the Americas, ICCA is well positioned in the region.
The idea is to know firsthand what agriculture ministers are requesting in terms of technical cooperation. We are not a bank, we are a technical cooperation agency, so we can help member countries, for example, to train human resources, to prepare documents, to design strategies, to help them to have stronger institutions.
This is Mr. Otero's first visit to Dominica since he took up the position of ICCA's Director General last January. Part of the reason for his visit was to review the effectiveness of actions taken by the organization to reduce the impact of extreme climate events. Prior to his arrival here, he visited Grenada. He left Dominica for St. Lucia on Thursday to wrap up his visit. Hurricane Maria seemed to have created a situation where students had fewer distractions, resulting in impressive results at the 2018 CSEC exams. Ministry of Education officials are pleased that in spite of the impact of the hurricane on students' home and school life, they were able to help Dominica secure a 12% pass rate above the regional average. The National Youth Council has taken note of the achievement. The youth organization's president says he's excited for the young men and women who have excelled beyond expectation.
It just goes to show the resilience of the youth. It goes to show that even in hardship, opportunities do spring forth. And in most times, if you look at the progress or the success of individuals, you will find is when times are extremely hard, the human being, manifests itself in such a way that it becomes more than it was before, to rise above its challenge. And that is what these young people have done. And I think the entire country have to move along with that momentum.
Barron says considering the call to rebuild Dominica with a positive attitude, he believes there are lessons to be learnt from the students' performance this year against all odds.
So if the young people can show us that, hey guys, despite this Maria everybody's complaining about, rightly so, it was devastating, but we have to stay focused and achieve our goals, and that's what they did. That is exactly what the young men and women did. They remained focused and they stuck to it and they achieved their goal of greatness. So we want to publicly commend and congratulate them, further their parents for having a good support network, the school and principals, the teachers who who would have had to prepare them for the CSEC exam, and also the entire Ministry of Education, the Minister of Education, the Chief Education Officer, for really, how you best say that, tactfully restoring our education system after Maria.
The students performed above regional average in all but 3 subjects, namely French, Industrial Tech Building, and Visual Arts. Minister for Education Peter Saint-Jean says this year's results are a resounding testimony of the strength of the Dominican people. 38 students obtained 6-1s and above. Dominica's top CSEC performer is 16-year-old Charleston Gilbert of Penville. He attended the Portsmouth Secondary School. You're watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after the break.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Thank you for staying with us. Dominica's top performer at this year's Grade 6 National Assessment has been awarded yet another scholarship.
The Geoff Robinson Scholarship for Excellence has been awarded by the Dominica Cooperative Societies League Limited on an annual basis since 1986. This year, Seb Mackenzie, who attended the convent prep, has received that scholarship.
It gives me great pleasure to express my gratitude to the Dominica Credit Union League for the scholarship which they have presented me and the other recipients for our 5 years of secondary school education. We have worked hard in primary school and we promise to do the same in secondary school. Finally, I would like to once again thank the Dominica Credit Union League and wish them all the best of luck in their future endeavors.
The Sister Alicia Scholarship for Need is another of the notable scholarships of the Cooperative Societies League and has been awarded since 1994. This year, that scholarship went to Nelia Thomas.
I would like to thank the credit union for giving me this scholarship since I have worked hard in primary school, and I will try my best to work hard in secondary school. And I would like to say thank you to the credit union for giving me this scholarship, and I will try my best to use it wisely.
As president of the league, Josephine Dublin explained, currently the institution is funding 24 full scholarships and 32 partial scholarships for children around the island.
Our full scholarship awardees receive the following benefits: full payment of school fees, a uniform allowance of $250 in their first and third years, full payment of examination fees, and a commuter allowance if the student resides beyond a half-mile radius from the school. These provisions, students, are to ensure that you have the necessary financial support to concentrate on your studies at secondary schools. We expect that your parents and guardians will provide the emotional and other support you require to pursue a successful secondary school education.
The league is also sponsoring 6 bursaries valued at $300 each.
In related news, the largest financial institution in the country has committed to helping in nation building as the country continues its recovery from Hurricane Maria. The remarks came from manager of the Dominica Cooperative Societies League, Phoenix Belfield. Belfield said several of the society's affiliates had been impacted by the hurricane and steps are being taken to assist its members, especially those affected by the withdrawal of Ross University.
The credit union represents the largest financial institution in the country. We represent more than 50% of lending in the financial sector. And so for us, it is critically important that we play a decisive role in national building, in economic growth and development, and for us to also spearhead the recovery efforts. Of course, some of our affiliates would have been affected and exposed by the withdrawal of Ross University. And just like any other financial institution, we have to find ways to mitigate against that. But most importantly, we have to find ways to assist our members, some of whom would have been affected by the withdrawal through having their businesses curtailed. Some of them would have had apartments emptied. Some of them would have lost employment. And I don't know how many of you would have gone up to Portsmouth since, but it's almost like a ghost town.
Belfield revealed that due to the damage caused by the hurricane, the society is also working to rebuild its infrastructure in a more resilient manner, but remains focused on the socio-economic development of the country.
For us at the League, it's with extreme privilege that we can play such a role. Over the years, we have been contributing to national development, not only through scholarships, but also as the apex body. We give guidance to the credit unions and also provide advocacy on their behalf. We're looking to also rebuild and to rebuild resiliently. But just like how we're looking to rebuild resiliently our infrastructure, we're also looking to rebuild from a national perspective. And that is why the League, as an apex body for the credit unions, is so important.
And Trinidad's Daily Express newspaper is reporting seismologist Dr. Elias Papadopoulos as saying the city of Port-of-Spain is in grave danger of sinking below the ground in the event of a major earthquake. Papadopoulos is warning that a major earthquake is due to hit the region in the coming years. He says while an earthquake cannot be predicted, the region expects one with a magnitude of 7 or more approximately every 27 years. He believes it has been long overdue. Papadopoulos, an engineering seismologist at the University of the West Indies Seismic Research Center, said 2 specific earthquake zones are posing a major threat. The zones are located north of the Gulf of Paria and within the Gulf of Paria. He believes this area is actually ready to give one of the biggest earthquakes, which probably will be a magnitude 7 or 7.5. He said Port-of-Spain is at greater risk of devastation because of water saturation. As a result, he said the land would move like water in the event of a major earthquake in a process called liquefaction. Papadopoulos said buildings falling apart would not be as much an issue as buildings being swallowed up into the ground. He also raised concern with the quality of infrastructure, which he said has been a problem in developing countries. He said many buildings cannot withstand the force of an earthquake, and Trinidad and Tobago buildings do not meet European standards. To end the news, a look again at the headlines. UK marine scientists recommend Dominica place fishing in the forefront as one of the country's resilient livelihoods. Dominica's CBI program crowned the best in the world for the 2nd year running, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture to collaborate with Dominica in the establishment of a resilience center. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.